Hey everybody, this is Jason Akers again with Akers Pest Control, and today we're going to talk about ants. We're coming up on the spring season. Ants are going to start getting into your home, and we got to deal with that whole mess again. If you've been having problems with ants and your house continuously attracts ants, hopefully today I can shed some light, maybe help you in figuring out what you're doing wrong, and hopefully be able to control this really nagging issue every time it gets warm outside. Now, I live in Central Virginia. I own my own company, Akers Pest Control. I cover from Charlottesville all the way to Roanoke, Virginia. So it's a pretty good size area. I see a lot of trouble with ants in my travels. Some homes you can treat once and the ants are gone. Other homes you may have to treat several months in a row if the problem continues to persist. Excuse me, I'm still getting over a little bit of a cold. But so yes, and a lot of people will ask, well, why is it that you've treated my neighbor's house and their ants are gone, but I continually have a problem? Ants the way I explain this to most people, or the way I try to explain it to people, is that all ants are not created equal. You may have a small nest of ants in the home. Ants, the teeniest, tiniest of ants, a lot of people will call them sweet ants or sugar ants, piss ants. They're not all the same. There's several different breeds of ants. Pharaoh, acrobat ants, odorous house ants. There's lots of different types of ants. Now, the reason I point this out is because ants all have different behavior based on the species. Not only that, but ants require different things to satisfy them as far as the hunger of the colony as well. So one day you may have ants coming in looking for butter, fats, grease, things like that. And other days you may have ants coming in and looking for sugar, candy. They'll get into your bread, stuff like that, or cereals. They really like cereals and stuff. So depending on what the colony needs, or depending on the type of ant you have. So a lot of people will go to, say, Dollar General, Walmart, Family Dollar, Home Depot, Walmart. I think I said Walmart twice. But Lowe's, different places like this, and they'll get like little bait trays, little bait stations. And, it says right on there that they'll take it back, feed the colony, kill the colony. And that will work sometimes. All right, the problem with ants is the workers are actually fed by the reproductives. So they pick up the food. They're the ones coming out, crawling around on your countertop, picking up food, and taking it back to feed the colony. They are not eating the food they pick up. They are taking it back and feeding it to the reproductives, feeding it to the babies, and taking care of the colony. Now, then what happens is the reproductives turn around and they create a food for the workers to eat out of what they brought back home. So basically, workers eat reproductive ant poop. So the problem is when the workers start bringing back baits and they start feeding it to the reproductives, and the reproductives start dying, and their poop doesn't transfer the poison into the worker ants, then the worker ants are not going to die. They're going to realize that what they got was poison. They're going to go back and mark the poison with pheromones that will ward the rest of the colony away from the bait, and then they won't take it anymore. A lot of people will tell me, they'll say, well, I've been using this combat bait station or whatever, or gel bait, and they've just stopped taking it. The reason they stop taking it is because they realize what it is, they know it's poisonous, and they just leave it alone. And so you have to constantly resupply bait stations. You have to change bait stations. You have to use different types. Look at your active ingredients, rotate them, And I have found that baiting for ants is just not very successful. Now, if you're a pest control technician and you have found a successful way to bait for ants, please leave information below because I'd like to know. But personally, myself, when I have tried to bait for ants, it may work for about 30 to 60 days. And after that, it just doesn't work very well at all. But I'm going to give you a recipe. And I'm going to, at the end of this video, I'm going to show you how to make your own ant bait so you don't have to buy it at the store. The only thing you would need is 3 easy ingredients. Basically, it's water, sugar, and boric acid. Now, boric acid can be found, at Walmart. You can get it at dollar store. You can get it anywhere. It's really, really effective. It's really available. And it's something they can't develop an immunity to. But you're going to have that problem where the ants are going to feed it to the reproductives and it's going to kill them. But there's also other ways that you can kill the workers. Now, the way you kill workers with boric acid is you want to create a fine mist. Now, if you go back and watch my video, it's Cockroach Monday, episode 4, and it shows how I apply dust. You can put boric acid into a duster, just like I did on that video, and I'll link it in the description below so it makes it easier to find it. And maybe hopefully I'll be able to put it in the end cards if I remember. So if you watch all the way through to the end, it'll give you that little, y'all click this video, it'll, somewhere you might be able to go. I'll try to put it there too. But anyway, you want to go and watch that video and watch how I apply the dust. That's how you want to apply dust for ants. You want to puff it out like a mist. Fill up your duster, about half full, and puff it around for the ants. That way, when the workers will crawl through that surface. Now, the way you apply that, like behind your splash boards, under your basins of your sinks, places where the ants are going to crawl, but the chemical, I say chemical, it's not really a chemical. Boron is a mineral, and that's what they get: boric acid, borax, all your borac type, pesticides and soaps and things like that come from boron, which is, like I said, it's a natural mineral that forms in the earth. But what you do is you take that boric acid dust and you apply it where the ants are crawling through it. Apply it to their trails, and in really, really, really fine amounts to where they don't recognize what it is, and they'll continue to crawl through it, and they'll pick it up on their feet, and when they clean themselves, then they eat the boric acid and it will kill them. That works really good on worker ants. So you can make a bait that the worker ants will travel back and forth and feed reproductives with, and you can also apply it as a fine powder that they crawl through that, it'll kill them too. So it's really effective for ants, and hopefully this recipe will help you, and you'll be able to make your own ant bait and be effective getting rid of your ants. And not only that, it's chemical free. So even with people who are worried about applying pesticides to their homes, you don't have to worry anymore. You can just make a boric acid solution and it will kill ants. Now, I wouldn't want to put it, I still would want to keep it up away from children. You still don't want to eat it. It's not really, healthy to eat boric acid. You can make eye drops out of it and things like that, so you can wash your eyes out with boric acid and stuff, but it's very, low toxicity to mammals. It's not really going to hurt you that bad, but I would still try to keep it up away from children and pets because you don't want them to eat it and get sick. So hopefully this video will help. Stay tuned, and I'm going to give you a recipe on how to make your own ant bait. Like I said, it's really cheap, really easy. If you like the video, give me a thumbs up, try sharing, and subscribe to my channel. Y'all have a great one. Thanks. Okay, so we're here with some water that's slowly reaching a boil. It's 1 cup of water here. We have a teaspoon of boric acid here, and 8 teaspoons of sugar here. Now what you're going to do is you're going to create a simple syrup. And anyone who's ever cooked before knows that this is the way that you make, simple syrups for basically any real confectioner's type recipe. So you slowly add your sugar to the water. And it's not going to be real syrupy. It's going to be mostly water. So we stir it. Now you don't have to boil your water. You don't have to, heat it up or anything like that. I just find that when you heat your water, the sugar dissolves almost instantly when it's added to the water. See? Now you don't want to get it too hot. So once the sugar's dissolved, which it is, as you can see, it's completely dissolved in the water. You've got a nice sugary water. You add, whoop, spit a little bit. You add the teaspoon of boric acid. Okay, all gone. And you stir this in. Now it's completely dissolved. Now what you want to do is get you a bottle cap. Like that. Move this back like this. And you get yourself just a little bit of finished solution and you put it in the bottle cap. Like that. Alright. And let me get real close here. Let me go ahead and turn the burner off because we've got it all mixed up here, our solution. And you can put that in a bottle and keep it. It stays good for a long time. Here, you can't really tell. Let's see here. Let me bring it. See if I can bring the bottle cap a little closer. It's gonna be a little warm because it's got that hot fluid in it. Okay. There we go. So you've got your liquid in the bottle cap. That's all it really takes. Okay. Now you take your bottle cap, go place it on your windowsill, along the seal plate, around the countertop, wherever the ants are going. That's your little dish. That's all it takes. The ants will go right into it. Try to place it in a trail of ants so the ants find it really easily. And all it takes is boric acid, which you can find at Walmart, you know, Home Depot, anywhere. And the active ingredient, all it is boric acid. 99% boric acid. So, hopefully, this will help you. You guys get rid of your ants. And y'all have a good day.